We have a second awesome person who is receiving the Niebur Award. OJ Tucker, that you all know. What does the OJ stand for? It's Orenthal James. Well, we all know him as OJ Tucker. OJ Tucker is a research scientist at NASA Goddard Space Center and a NASA postdoctoral fellow. He earned his PhD and his bachelor degree in mathematics and physics from Hampton-Sydney College, where he was on both the honor court for math and physics, as well as a football team, while he was also active in the Minority Student Union. As a plasma physicist, Dr. Tucker develops and carries out molecular level simulations to model gas flow on planetary bodies and describes radiation effects in solids. His research interests are aimed at understanding how dynamics at the molecular level affect planets and planetary materials. Dr. Tucker is a leading expert on rarefied atmospheres and exospheres across the solar system. He has made significant contributions to exploration science, particularly through his work in the lunar hydrogen cycle and its response to magnetospheric shielding, and on transient atmospheres produced by lunar volcanism. His work has been critical to advancing scientific understanding of the lunar volatile system and provides testable hypotheses for several upcoming orbital and landed lunar missions. The breadth of Dr. Tucker's work is unparalleled. He has simulated rarefied atmospheres on bodies ranging from Mercury and the moon to the moons of Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and beyond. In addition, Dr. Tucker has mentored many undergraduate and graduate students and is held in the highest esteem by a wide international network of colleagues and collaborators. He is currently a co-investigator on the SSERVI Leader team and a co-investigator for the PITMS mass spectrometer, a NASA-provided lunar payload. Dr. Tucker has also served in critical leadership and service roles. He is a member of the White House Scientific Integrity Task Force, served as a SOC member for the AAS DPS, is one of the co-founders of the Planetary Scientists of Color Group, and is a mentor and role model for the dynamic Black in Astro community. Dr. Tucker makes an effort above and beyond his own role as a civil servant to bring minority students into the field, and those efforts have been inspirational to this community. Because of both his own unique scientific contributions and his constant work to incorporate minority students into the field, Dr. Tucker's efforts exactly reflect Dr. Susan Niebur's quote, and this is a quote from Niebur, untiring work of bringing people together and finding ways to help everyone live up to their potential, unquote. Dr. O.J. Tucker is an exceptional scientist and an incredible person and could not be more deserving of recognition.
Okay, yes, wow, thanks so much. Wow, quite an introduction. Congratulations to Kelsey and all the award winners. It is truly wonderful to have your contributions recognized by your colleagues. So I'm really thankful to SSERVI for that. You know, I'm both honored and humbled to receive the Niebur Award. Thank you to SSERVI, thanks to the great folks that have supported me over the years, and thanks to everyone who's in attendance today. You know, I truly have been fortunate to have such great support from family and so many of you all that are there today and in the broader planetary science community. You know, it's impossible to name everyone that I would like to thank, but I wanted to take a couple of minutes to thank some folks that have really shaped my path. Let's see here. So, you know, I'll start with my family here, and you know, moments like this give me a little bit emotional, so I'll try to hold back the tears. But thanks to my wife, my daughters, Sarah, Amira, Emily, who are shown in this picture here, for their support. You know, I think that many of us recognize that our community has a lot of work to do regarding inclusion. But nevertheless, over the recent years, I've been really encouraged by the efforts of so many of you all in the audience and so many people in our community to I know what we've done to really address inclusion. So I've been really impressed with how that's becoming more and more of a priority in the recent years. And, you know, for kids that are like my daughters and other underrepresented groups who might have, you know, interest in planetary science, let's just keep pushing to be more inclusive of them. So, you know, they'll feel welcome and encouraged to come into our community. On the right over there is a picture of my mom and my dad who've been continued support and encouragement over all of these years consistently. And, you know, I like to much thanks to my grandma and my grandpa Tucker that are shown in the bottom there. And, you know, 2020 was a difficult year. All right, my grandfather passed. Now, he was a big inspiration. Sorry, y'all. And, you know, the whole George Floyd incident happened. But so many people were supportive and, you know, folks like Barbara Coyne checked on me. But I didn't want to get like that. Yeah. But he was an inspiration. And my grandma Barbara, you know, they grew up through segregation. She couldn't go to school because of the hatred she endured. My grandfather, when he came home, he served in the Korean War. When he came home, he couldn't eat at certain restaurants. And so today I'm honored to accept this award in recognition of just standing on their shoulders. Okay, I made it through that. Thanks to my mom. She's been a really good encouragement. I'll never forget being a kid and being introduced to space science for the first time. I was amazed. A person came to our door and they had these books that are shown on the screen here about all of the fantastic space science going on at the time. I was amazed. I didn't want to give the books back. My mom ended up buying the whole set of encyclopedias for me. And it was like planetary science found me. You know, planetary science, you know, found this Black kid living with his mom. I was interested. You know, it's amazing that photos and the science that we do on these planetary missions, they find people all over the world, you know, all over the world. And I just want to encourage us and say, you know, it's important that students from a variety of cultural and academic backgrounds really have a pathway to go from that excitement to actual participation. Okay, I'm making it, y'all. So I'd like to thank some undergraduate professors I had, Dr. Mike McDermott and Stan Chang, who were in the physics department. They were really inspirational to me. When I first arrived at HSC, you know, I was greeted by a professor who told me that I shouldn't even attempt physics. He really discouraged me from being a physics major, actually. But, you know, I had a strong support system. My family really advocated me calling to college. And then, you know, it was so bad that I didn't even attempt physics my first semester. I was thinking about being like a religion and philosophy major. And if you look at my transcript, I have a bunch of philosophy, religion courses and a bunch of physics courses. But that second semester, Mike McDermott, he talked to me and he said, hey, you can do physics, you can do it, come on. And he became my undergraduate advisor. And, it was difficult at first and I learned a lot. And I came across this course, computational physics. And I learned a lot about, and then another course by Stain Chan, math methods in physics. And from then on, it was just like I had this love for doing computational work to investigate physics problems. So, a big thank you to them and just highlighting how important it is for us to have, advocates, especially folks from, underrepresented communities. Okay, and special thanks to Bob and my master's advisor Lena Zigley at UVA. They both have been great mentors over the years. In fact, I'm sure Bob has been a great mentor to many of you folks out there today. And, he's such a really inspirational guy. When I started at UVA, I was like constantly always the one or two Black person in the physics class or in math courses. And it really had begun to take a toll at that time. I was doing research and during that time I attended my first conference, which was in Finland. And so this is when I was doing a master's in material science, looking into sputtering. And at that first conference, I remember going out to a bar and, like my grandfather, even this was like over 50 years later, I was told no Blacks allowed. And it was devastating at the time. I already felt really isolated. But again, sort of my career sort of went like that. I had some trying times. And then it would be people in the community that would really support me and help to try to lift me up. Leo was real supportive during that time. So I ended up taking a year off from the master's program and I taught high school. And I was considering that coming back. And just out of the blue, both Leo and Bob, they kept emailing me and staying in contact. And they said, hey, come back and finish this master's program. And they really encouraged me. And so after that year, after I finished teaching that summer, I came back and finished the master's and it was almost like planetary science just found me again. I had no clue that Bob was working on a Cassini mission with Titan. And so I came on and started working with him, looking at Titan and atmospheric escape. And also during that time, Claudia Alexander, she wasn't at UVA, but I met her while I was at UVA and she was the first Black planetary scientist that I met. And it was a real big motivation for me just to continue forward and to continue on. So, I just like to encourage and remind us all that, again, it's really important to be advocates and representation is really, really important. And I'll finish up here soon. I hope I didn't follow the grant take too long. As a postdoc, I was fortunate. So, opportunity is really important as well. And as a postdoc, Mike reached out to me to come to work at University of Michigan, and I'm so thankful for that opportunity. My twin daughters were born while we were in Michigan. I got to do a lot of interesting work. Like Kelsey talked about, I was able to do a lot of outreach at my daughter's school and other local schools in the area. And, I'm very passionate about that, as was mentioned. I believe that this type of outreach is just vital to the health of our community and to keep it vibrant and to keep bringing people in. I would like to give a big thanks to Jim Slavin. So, as the Cassini mission sort of died down, everybody was in transition, trying to think about, what would they be doing next? I also was in transition at U of M. I had applied to several schools for research professorships, no callbacks, applied for adjunct faculty positions, no callback, and I was really discouraged at that point. But Jim talked to me in his office a couple of times while he was a chair at Michigan. And he said, hey, apply to the postdoctoral program. And I was like, well, I don't know. But he said, really, apply, come on. And so he encouraged me through that point. And I really, it was a big contribution to me being in the current position that I'm in. So I really like to thank those folks. And I can't end, I'm short on time, but I can't say enough about Bill and Rosemary, who are great mentors, just like Bob and the others I mentioned. But these folks have been committed to diversity and inclusion. So, thank you to them, and I noticed what they do. Okay. So again, this is the end. I would like you all to join me in giving an applause to all of these folks. And thank you to SSERVI. And I've been so fortunate to have such a great support system. Unfortunately, that's not always the case for a lot of people. So let's keep up the work. I encourage people to continue. And thank you.
Thank you so much, OJ, for those informative and heartfelt words. We all have smiles behind our masks, of course, right now, but we have an award for you that I wish you were here to receive, but we will certainly send it to you. And I hope it will bring a smile to your face often. Thanks again.